Is my mic? Yeah, it is. I'm hot. Good morning, everybody. What a wonderful day in Visalia. It started out with a little rain, and now the skies are clear and blue. It's just beautiful out there. And I wanted to say welcome home. We haven't said that in a while. We haven't said that in a while, and it surely is a home. And I know that whenever I walk into here, I feel like I'm coming into the arms of a loving family, and I hope you do too. So, welcome home. We've got a whiz bang of a service, no pun intended. Can you see the drums over here? Um, for you this morning. So I'm going to start things off, turn things over to Reverend Linda Finley, our speaker today, and she'll open us with an opening prayer.
Good morning. I speak my word in the first person, in the I am, so that every person who hears the sound of this voice can take it as their own. Right here, right now, I am. I am in the center of my fulfillment. I am in the center of my being. I am in the center of life. And what I know is this time together is sacred time. It is fulfilling time. It is enriching time. It is loving time. And I am present for each moment of it. I'm present for every word, every melody, every sound, every note, every handshake, every hug. Everything is part of the truth of my being, and I am so grateful to be here today, to be part of this beautiful community known as Center for Spiritual Living, Visalia. It is absolutely my home wherever I am. This is my home, and for this I am grateful. I know today is perfect. I know it goes easily and effortlessly for everyone, and I release this into the law, trusting and knowing it is already done. And we affirm this together as we say, and so it is. And now I am delighted to introduce the house band. They're going to be doing the song Aiko Aiko, which is one of my favorites.
Check. There it is. Hey, so I was asked to kind of give a little context on this because Aiko Aiko is it's a very special song. So Mardi Gras just happened this last week, and it's heavily celebrated in New Orleans, where it's an extremely diverse population. And so in fact, I thought Creole was the language that they spoke, but a Creole it's actually a pidgin language that is put together of so many different types of languages that a generation actually grew up speaking that language, and then it graduates to being a Creole. So just showing that the diversity in this area is such a big deal for that reason. And Aiko Aiko is a song, if you don't know by the lyrics, it's kind of hard to tell, about two tribes of Native Americans in that area that were parading in one area in one direction, and another one coming in another direction where they're about to head towards war. And the chiefs decide that rather than anyone lose any people, we all share the land in harmony and benefit one another, which doesn't come through super clear on the lyrics, but now if you know, you can kind of see how all those pieces fit together. So, Aiko Aiko, here we go. Oh yeah, there you might see some shakers and drums out there. Definitely feel free to jump in. I also love the diverse drums on this. I always thought was really cool.
grandma sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go one day. Oh, Mo Anane, Giacomo Pinane. Look at my king all dressed in red. I go one day. I bet you $5 he'll kill you dead. Giacomo Pinane, talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go one day. Oh, Pino Anane, Giacomo Pinane. My flag boy and your flag boy sitting by the fire. My flag boy told your flag boy, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go one day. Oh, Pino Anane, Giacomo Pinane. Woo! Come on, Kevin. See that guy all dressed in green. I go one day. He's not a man, he's a love machine. Giacomo Pinane, talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go one day. Oh, Pino Anane, Giacomo Pinane. Giacomo Pinane, Giacomo Pinane.
That was great. What? Wait a minute.
Kevin was playing piano, saxophone, and bongos. Amazing.
Stand up. They can't see you back there.
No, I was just saying, from where I was sitting, the coolest part was when everybody jumped in on the drums. It sounded so cool. It sounded like so full, like a party, which is what that should
Definitely.
sound like.
And Joe did a great job over there on the drums, too. Thank you. All right, today we are going to be different. We're doing things have changed a little bit, and that started it out. It was super duper. So before we talk announcements, we got to talk about the wonderful Valentine's event we had here Wednesday. So I want to show you a few of the slides. So you can see, those of you who are here, you can see what the stage looked like. The hats weren't open yet. See all those hat boxes? Maria brought all her hats. They're in the boxes now. And this was we set it all up. It was tables of 4 for everybody, and it was lovely. The food was incredible. This is some of the food that our cooks, Debbie, Donna Kay, Maria, they are incredible. Here's Debbie and Lynn. Lynn was one of our servers. And then we had this great barbershop quartet singing some love songs and fun songs. And then Maria said, okay, we're going to have a hat contest. So we got everybody up, walking across the stage. They were supposed to be doing something so they would be voted first. But no one could decide who would win. So finally, after all that, here's who won. So John Lehman was the only man brave enough to put on a hat, and because they couldn't decide anybody else, they said, "Okay, it's John's," and he has a flower in his teeth, and he was really hamming it up. So he was having having a great time. It was a beautiful, beautiful event. We raised over $600 for the center. So thank you very much, everybody. And good old Anne made all these Valentines with little puzzles in them, so every table could put their puzzle together. You know, Anne does all incredible things, and she did thank you notes for everybody. So Maria, here's yours. Donna Kay, here's yours. Come up and get them. Little thank you notes from Anne. Debbie, is Debbie here? Debbie's in the kitchen cooking for the next event. Lynn, here's one for Lynn. Maria, Donna, Sylvana. Oh, here's Debbie. Debbie, here's Debbie's. Sylvana, you get one? I think Maria has yours, Lynn. The cooking was incredible, so thank you so much to everybody. Okay, let's go to the announcements, because our next party is coming up. Today, Mimi's 100th birthday party after service. So Debbie is doing cooking again for this. She is a chef. That's what she is. And so she has fun cooking. So you can see her setting up over here on the side. Right after service, we will put up a few tables. We'll have food. We're going to have this wonderful slideshow showing this slide. This is Mimi at, 8, 10, playing the banjo, 12. She used to play the banjo. And we'll see some other slides of her interesting life. So be sure to stay afterwards. We're going to have great food. Florence brought a birthday cake. We'll sing happy birthday. And the trio is going to do a couple songs for Mimi. Today is a board meeting. So because of the party, the board meeting is going to be a little bit late. So it'll probably be, the board meeting. So any of you who want to stay after the party, you're welcome, or come in on Zoom, because we want you to know what's going on with the center. So that'll be right after the party today. Next, okay, our new member class. We've been talking about this, but now it's next week. So any of you who are interested in joining, or just want to know some more information about what our philosophy is, what we try to talk about here, come. It's right after service next Sunday. Might want to bring something to eat. I don't know if Debbie's going to feed you next week. And Reverend Donna will come in on Zoom and tell us a little bit about the basics of this wonderful, wonderful place we have. And her class starts on Thursday. We've had quite a few people sign up, and I know I got a call from her. Does everybody who signed up gotten a call? Yes? No? No? Well, you will. You'll get a call from her, and you'll get the Zoom link, because it's going to be every Thursday starting this Thursday for 4 Thursdays. You can still sign up. The sign-ups is in the kitchen, and be sure to sign up and give your email so she can make sure that she gets it to everybody. Okay, is there one more? I don't think so. That's it. Okay, so we're going to call up Carol to do the inclusivity quote.
Thank you, Donna. My quote today for inclusivity is from our Native American brothers and sisters, specifically from Chief Dan George. Dan George was an actor, musician, poet, and author who lived from 1899 to 1981. And he lived in British Columbia, Canada. And he said, "May the stars carry your sadness away. May the flowers fill your heart with beauty. May hope forever wipe away your tears. And above all, may silence make you strong." Chief Dan George.
So to go perfectly with that saying, we have Tino and his kids here. For our special music today is going to be their drumming and their wonderful music.
Thank you. All right, so we bring the unity song. All right. So the 7 generations prayer, we pray 7 generations back to the strength and wisdom of our ancestors. You know, we've been claiming our generational trauma, but we also need to claim our generational healing. And so we pray for that strength and wisdom 7 generations back to today, and we pray for the strength physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually so that we can take care of ourselves and others, to include the plants, the animals, the earth, now and 7 generations forward. So we're going to bring you the unity song. Let's go. Way ya, hey ya, way hi ya, way hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, way, hey, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey, yo. Hey, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey, yo. Hey, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey, yo. Way, hey, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hi. Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey, yo. Hey, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey, Yahweh, hi, Yahweh, hey, yo. Ho. Do you want us to do another, or do you want us to do another? All right, so Omitakiasian means we're all related to everything and everyone. So I carry the unity flag, the unity drum, and the unity song. And when we play, so Joaquin called the ancestors with the sound of the the wind, the conch shell. When we pray in the 4 directions, it's actually 7, because we also pray northeast, southwest, up, down, and inside. So to the east, where the sun rises, is yellow. We honor our Asian brothers and sisters to the east. And to the west is black, the African. And to the north is white, the Europeans. And to the south is red, here, and the natives. So it's the 4 corners of our nation and of the globe. So we honor all peoples in the 4 directions prayer and in the unity song. The song is from the American Native AIM, American Indian movement, and it's to unite all tribes. But if you go far back enough, we're all tribal people. You have the Germanic tribes, and my mother's Apache, my father's Yaqui, my father's mother, she's French, Polish, Scottish, Irish. So you had Scottish tribes, right? And, in African tribes, and of course, we represent the Mexica, which you would know as Aztec. And so to unite all tribes, but because we're all tribal people, we sing it to unite all people. I hope.
Thank you, Tino. Tino has so much knowledge about all this, and every once in a while we're lucky enough to get it. So now we'll turn it back over to Reverend Linda.
Our weekly affirmation, I'll read it first and then we'll read it together. My potential is bigger than my problem. And let's do that together. My potential is bigger than my problem. And I just want to take a moment to thank Tino and his family for that beautiful, beautiful unity sharing. That meant a lot. Breathing in, God is. Breathing out, I am. I am part of the infinite nature of the one. Just as the wave is part of the ocean, the grain of sand is part of the beach. The raindrop is part of the cloud. So am I a part of the infinite. I am one with all that is. I am connected to all that is. I am part of everything that is. Indeed, my tribe is the infinite, because I am connected to, grounded in, and breathing with everyone and everything. As I breathe out, the tree breathes in. As the tree breathes out, I breathe in. With gratitude for this time together, I allow the messages to reach my heart deeply, fully, and abundantly. I am exactly where I need to be, doing what is mine to do. With gratitude, with joy, and with love, I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is. I am really, really excited to be with you today. It was fun to be there at Christmas time. And this is those of you who know me know I am about to go crazy, because I talk walking and standing and moving around, and I'm confined to a chair here with this screen in front of me. So I'm going, ah! Anyway, what I would like you to know, what I would like you to understand is we're in the month of divine discomfort. We are looking at the concept that this discomfort is given to us to urge us to get out of our comfort zone into something greater. We all have, every one of us, I know this for a fact, but I'll just claim it for myself. I have a comfort zone. I have certain ways that I drive to places. I have certain ways that I do things. I have a certain order in which I read my books in the morning. I have a certain way I do things. And if I'm really, really honest with myself, what I've discovered is the more I live within my comfort zone, the more I stop trying new things and going out and doing things that are a bit different, the more small my comfort zone starts to become, because I take off the things that, well, that didn't really work that well, so I'll push that one away and that one away. And it gets to where my comfort zone kind of becomes a cage or maybe even a box that I'm just sort of stuck in, doing what I always do in the way I've always done it. And the darn thing is, if I always do what I've always done, I will always get what I've always gotten. And maybe that's wonderful, and maybe it's not so good. Maybe there is the whole idea that there's something more here trying to happen. And if I would get out of the way, something bigger and better could be happening. I could be having more joy in my life. I could having more love in my life. I could be having more beauty and peace in my life. The thing about humans, we are a bit odd. Our motivating factor is often pain. The reason we do things is to avoid pain, to step away from the pain, to get out from under the pain. And this teaching, Dr. Holmes, has made us become aware that there is more to life than avoiding pain. There is more to life than stopping what I'm doing to do something else. Until I realize, when I first got into this teaching was right after I'd quit smoking. I'd smoked for 25 years. And 30 years ago in August, I quit smoking. And 30 years ago in January, I walked into the Visalia Center. And what I realized when I quit smoking was if I could do that, I could do anything. And this teaching, when I found it, also told me I could do anything. It was about empowerment. It was about how I had control over my life and the things that I experienced and the things that I did. And when I realized that, when I have the power to create a life that I'm drawn to instead of one I'm running from, when I have a vision that pulls us, that pulls me, that gives me power and drive, I can accomplish things. The basic lesson this week is pain pushes until vision pulls. This is something Dr. Michael Beckwith says a lot. But it's something in a way that Ernest Holmes was saying for years. In fact, there's a portion of our textbook I'm going to read to you this morning because it is so powerful, and it's in the first 100 or so pages of the book. It's actually on page 107 and 108 if you want to check it out when you get home. But the idea that we are stuck in any one spot is simply a story we've been telling ourselves that we really need to stop telling ourselves because it isn't true. It is not the truth of us. It's not the truth of the world. It's not the truth of anything. Dr. Holmes at the bottom of 107 says, the world is beginning to realize that it has learned all it should through suffering and pain. Surely there could be no intelligence in the universe that wishes man to be sick, suffer pain, be unhappy, and end in oblivion. Surely if God or universal intelligence is imbued with goodness, then it could not ordain that man should ultimately be other than a perfect expression of life. We have shown that man's nature is the same as God's nature. We should have no intellectual difficulty in realizing that an infinite intelligence could not make an automatic individuality. This explains why we suffer on our road to self-discovery. Our suffering is not God ordained because we create our own experience as we become individualized. By individuality is meant self-choice, volition, conscious mind, personified spirit, complete freedom, and power to back up that freedom. We cannot imagine a mechanical or unspontaneous individuality to be real and free. Individuality must be created in the image of perfection, and let alone to make the great discovery for itself. think of the beautiful little baby, fresh out of the womb, little eyes, mirrors right into God, open, just wow, looking all around it. And it is absorbing constantly. We learn faster in the first 3 years of our life than we do at any other time in our life. We're like giant sponges. We are Johnny Five in the movie Short Circuit. You know, need more input, need more input, need more input. That's who we are. And as we seek that input, we get stopped, sometimes for our own safety or our own good, as our parents like to think, but sometimes out of their fears that we're moving too far too fast. And so we start creating a structure from which we live and a box in which it is safe to live at that early age. We get it put into us that we have limits. And the thing is, those limits are oftentimes self-imposed. I may be stopped from moving, but I'm not stopped from thinking. Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning says, I will not give you power over my mind. I will not let you make me hate you. I alone have the power to control my mind. Even if my body is being controlled in one way or another, my mind can search for freedom. And as we're in the middle of Black History Month, as we're in the middle of understanding the diversity that is this nation, the native, the indigenous peoples here, the indigenous peoples everywhere. And as Tina so beautifully said, at one point in time, we were all indigenous peoples, wherever we lived, wherever we were the indigenous people before things began getting modernized. We had small groups that we clung to, and were part of. But we have the power to envision and create a world that works for everyone. And that's what is so beautiful about this teaching. We can create suffering through our trials and tribulations and working to become who we are. But we can learn from those trials and tribulations and create a world that is stronger and more powerful and is more dynamic and is that we truly, truly want to be. The pain can propel us forward. It can, it does. But it's up to us to capture a vision that pulls us into a new way of being. I'm not, this didn't happen in Visalia. This was when I was early in my ministry up in Petaluma. So nobody be looking around the room and say, oh, it was you or it was you. No, it was people up in Petaluma. I was doing practitioner work. And if you haven't worked with a practitioner lately, I really encourage you to do so. But I would be working with people as a practitioner and I would listen to them and they would tell me their story, in great detail, really, really painful stories, clearly able to describe it, passionate about what they were feeling. And when they finished telling me the story, I'd say, well, what would you like to have happen? They were like, oh my God, I never thought about what I would like to have happen. Well, that's the whole point of this life that we're in, is to figure out what we would like. If I don't like this, not this is not really definitive enough for anybody to know what it is I'm looking for. Not this is just more of this in a different way. What I really truly need to do as a person, as an individualization of the one power, is to find a vision that makes me go, yeah, that's it. There's a line in the textbook where Dr. Holmes is talking about treatment and he says, you know that God is all there is. And then you realize that you are one with God and you really get into this idea that if God is all there is and I am one with God, then everything is perfect. And you get to a point where you go, yes. And that's what you're looking for. That feeling of, yes, this is what I'm accepting. This is what I'm taking. This is what I'm demanding of the universe. Not what I want. Because if I say I want something, what I am saying is, I don't have it. And since the universe always answers yes, every time I say I want something, the universe says, yes, you do want it. Yes, you are going to continue to want it until you accept it. So we want to move towards a new vision, a new way of being, a new way of thinking. We want to let go of old stories of limitation or lack. And Thomas Troward, who's probably even more difficult to read than Ernest Holmes, he was an English judge in India and retired back into England and got involved in the formation of New Thought communities there, and did lectures in Edinburgh, Scotland, and there we have books, the Edinburgh lectures, So from the Edinburgh lectures, there is this exquisite quote, and compound complex sentences. The man is brilliant. He can do 3-page sentences, in a 5-page paragraph. So anyway, what I want you to hear here is belief in limitation is and only thing that causes limitation. Let's stop and think about that for a minute. Belief in limitation is the one and only thing that causes limitation. Because we thus impress limitation upon the creative principle, and in proportion as we lay that belief aside, our boundaries will expand, and increasing life and more abundant blessings will be ours. If we impress limitation on the creative principle, we're creating more limitation. But as much as we can say, nope, not going to play that game, not going to do that anymore, I believe in the limitless nature of the universe, our boundaries expand. And increasing life and more abundant blessing must indeed be ours. I am grateful for the opportunity to be in this teaching, to learn from this teaching, to keep growing in this teaching. I've been studying for 30 years now, and I'm still learning. I'm teaching a basic course right now up here in Eugene that's the principles and practices. It's 5 weeks on the basic principles and practices of science of mind. And every time I teach a class, I learn from the class. Don't look and say, oh, I did that class 5 years ago. I did that class whenever. I don't need to do it again. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And because you're different, you're not the same person you were 5 years ago. And the people who are in the class are different. And I honestly to God swear that these metaphysical authors sneak into the books and rewrite them while they're on the shelf. There's stuff in there that wasn't there the last time I read it. I know that for sure. And I'm hearing from the audience that a few of you may have had that similar experience. Well, according to Dr. Holmes, the more we learn to do this work, the more we learn to become inquisitive and curious, the less we will be pushed by pain, and the more we will be pulled by a vision. This actually is our work. This is what this teaching is all about. And in honor of Black History Month, one of the things I would like to share, I grew up in the 60s in California. And in the 60s, the Black Panthers were formed. And to hear the FBI talk about it, they were riotous, hate mongers. And they were a community organizing group that were founded by Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton, who were students at Berkeley. And they were working to bring community to the Oakland area. Now, they did fight against police brutality, but they also invested in community organizing and aid. Their free breakfast program fed thousands of hungry kids before school, and that led to programs that the government then took over, that the cities and the school districts took over, that were started by the Black Panthers. They set up health clinics and child development centers and food pantries, also more of which were picked up by other nonprofit and government programs to done. They handled pest control in the tenement buildings and went around removing rats and roaches and things like that. They gave away coats and shoes in the winter. They started a free bus route to prisons for people to visit their incarcerated family and loved ones. And women played an essential role in the Black Panther Party, making up at least 2/3 of the organization by the end of the 1960s. Elaine Brown edited the party's newspaper and led the entire organization from 1974 to 1977. There are so many ways and places that we can come together with our tribe, with our community, with our peoples. And we know there's really, truly, no matter what it looks like on the outside, there's only one of us here. There's only one of us. And who we are here to be is greater revealers of truth, greater revealers of love, greater revealers of God. Here at our center this morning, we opened with the song Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. All is beautiful, all is well. And I love that because that one song, that one word, namaste, means that which is divine in me sees that which is divine in you. Whether you look like me or not, whether you are housed or not, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are right or left, whether you are whatever you are, old or young, that which is divine in me sees through all the wrappings to that which is divine in you. And that's the vision I choose to be pulled by. That's the vision I choose. The Panthers saw the pain of their community and they had a vision that it could be better. And they set about making it so. They fed people, they helped people, they clothed people. What can I do in my community, in my little circle, to create a change in somebody's life? And I don't have to have $1 million to do that. I can just smile. I can just look somebody in the face and smile. I have a vision that people can wander around smiling like idiots at each other and have a beautiful, beautiful world in which we live. And so it is. Now, I believe you've got congregational music now. It's time now for the conscious giving affirmation. We'll come together with this. Thank you, Spirit, for these gifts. We live in a reciprocal universe. I believe that these gifts go out into our world, blessing all who receive it and return to me abundantly. These gifts, we know they go to the work of taking care of this community and of growing our teaching in the world. Be grateful and give thanks, and so it is.
No. Now there is peace on earth. I know it begins with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Now we walk with each other with perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow. Take each moment and live each moment in peace. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with
There is only one life.
There's only one life.
That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. And so it is.